movie starts, so we see a couple, but then someone kills them. After this, the scene shifts and a woman named Ellie and her husband Marcus are shown, who has shifted to a new town. These days their relation is not going well, but they are trying to fix the relation. He also has a daughter who is studying in another city. Then the next day Ellie goes to her office, so she sees her friend from college, David, who has done new joining. Ellie and David meet after 20 years, but even today Ellie seems too young to David. These people get busy in their work after talking something. But the next day they meet again, so David wants to meet Ellie outside. He wants to talk. Ellie was going out with her friend at night today, so she invites David as well. But even after a long time of David's arrival at night, his friend does not reach. So both of them sit at once and start enjoying drinking wine. David was now divorced, so he asks Ellie how is her relationship going. Ellie says being with someone for 20 years sometimes gets boring. Sometimes he even feels like a stranger to his partner. Hearing this, David takes notice. Nowadays he is not happy with his life. These people talk here for some time. Then they go to the washroom and start kissing each other. But then Ellie realizes that all is not well. She is married, so cannot do all this. After this, we see David with his therapist. He was in therapy for his anger. Then one day David and Ellie meet again. David says sorry for that night. He asks Ellie out for coffee again today. But Ellie refuses for this. She says that they should stay away from each other so that there is no problem in future. Ellie knew that if they were together again, there would be a mess. But even after this, David keeps calling to talk to Ellie. But Ellie had put his number in the blacklist. She gets upset because of David. So while working in the kitchen, he accidentally cuts his finger. Seeing this, Marcus takes care of her. And then by being romantic, these people become intimate. But we see that David was keeping an eye on them by staying outside. That means now he was obsessed with Ellie. Then the next day Ellie's co-worker Courtney was going to come to their house for lunch. But Ellie sees that David came with her. Ellie doesn't like it at all, but she could not do anything. These people talk a lot with lunch, but after some time, after getting a chance, Ellie takes David to the side and asks why he has come here. Get out of his house now. David says something can happen between them, about which even her husband will not know. But Ellie refuses him, so after some time David leaves from here. But the next day he sends an expensive gift for Ellie, in which the knot of sorry is also kept. Seeing this, Ellie goes to meet David. David again starts saying that if they are intimate then no one will know anything about him. Just agree to him. But Ellie again clearly refuses and leaves. But then David lies to Courtney against Ellie that Ellie wants to have an affair with him. Now Courtney was in a relationship with David. That's why she goes to Ellie and tells her a lot of good and bad without listening to her. David wasn't ready to give up on Ellie, so Ellie starts researching about him. David's therapist was also a friend of Ellie's, so she goes and talks to him. So the therapist tells that 20 years ago he was in a one-sided love with her, but he himself did not give any feeling to them. Ellie also learns here that after the divorce, David's wife was killed by someone along with her boyfriend. Ellie suspects that David may have killed her, so now she calls David and now David starts blackmailing Ellie about Bar's things. Ellie also says that she will tell Courtney about his wife's death. Now he thinks what will happen to him. Ellie then mails Courtney a letter about David's wife, but before Courtney can see it, David reaches there and deletes the mail. After which he also gets intimate with Courtney. The next day Ellie also finds out about David's house and starts searching his house. Then he finds many photos of his wife in David's laptop, when he used to see her secretly. There were also photos of Ellie in it when he used to see them secretly. Upon learning of this, Ellie calls Courtney to tell her that David killed his wife. She sends some photos to him, but David was with him, so David also sees the photos. Before Courtney can do anything, David proceeds to kill her. After some time, Ellie reaches there and finds Courtney in a bad condition and calls the police. When the police arrive, she tells them the truth about David. Ellie then goes home and tells Marcus what happened that day at the bar. She was attracted to him, but he had taken stock of himself. Marcus also understands and forgives Ellie. On the other side, David catches a beggar and dresses him in his clothes, and kills him by setting fire to the car. The police think that David has committed suicide. But is that body David's or someone else's? It remained to be found out. Then the next evening Ellie got a call from the office that her signature was needed on some papers. So Ellie goes to the office, but there David had already killed her secretary, because David had called Ellie to the office only through the secretary. On seeing this, Ellie calls the police and asks them to reach her house quickly. And when she herself reaches home, David had tied up her husband and daughter. David was now obsessed with getting Ellie. He asks her to stay with him. But Ellie takes the opportunity to hurt David, and manages to rescue her husband and daughter. Now the police also come. These people start going towards the police car, so David kills the police officer. Now David starts holding Ellie and taking her inside, so Marcus attacks David to save him. Now the fight of these people continues for a long time. In the end, David starts falling down the hill, but still Ellie grabs his hand to save him. She asks him to come upstairs, but David now understood that he could not get Ellie. That's why it falls down the hill and walks out of Ellie's life forever. After this, we see that some time passes and Ellie and Marcus have shifted back to their city, and he was very happy. And at this point, this movie ends. If you like the video, then press the like button. Take care, bye.